Welcome everybody, and welcome to the Flower Patch, and my name's Iris Smith, where I make beautiful artificial flower arrangements for all occasions. Welcome everyone, I hope you're all doing well. Before I start, I just wish to give my sincere apologies for not doing a tutorial yesterday. I had a last minute emergency from a customer who was quite desperate to get some funeral flowers for their family, one of their family members who sadly passed. And she's been looking all over and nobody could do it at such short notice. She came to me and asked if I could, and I said yes, I can do one. And she wanted it for today. It's already been delivered and it was in real flowers. So because I've got a wholesaler who's not far from where I am, I just drove there, got what I needed, and then I came home and then I got on with it. She asked for a love heart with real red big roses with the word beautiful on it, and it was a 21-inch and also a not a large but a smallish size casket spray. So I had to bring the flowers home, treat them, water them at least for a good hour and a half before I started, so they've got plenty of water, as well as, you know, take off all the leaves and cut the heads short once they've been fed. And so yes, I was very busy yesterday, and I don't like turning people down. I mean, I specialised in funeral flowers when I did real flowers. I still do them for people, but I could see the desperation on the lady's face and the tears and the sadness. So I can't turn people down like that. So I did it and it's been done. I have had a dear friend, Audrey, from a little place called Phoenix in New York, has asked me if I could put the pictures up for people to see. I will try and get that done today. Again, I'm busy again today, but I think by end of the day, I will do it. So today, I've had a request about 3 days ago. I'd say it was a lady around my age, so she was young. So I like to think. One doesn't really like browns and, you know, the oranges and things like that for autumn. She prefers like the mauvey colours, dusky pinks and purples and burgundies, things like that. So she's asked if I could do a crescent shaped wreath with a bow in, and she also said that if I need to add any extras in, you know, then that's fine. So the lady also stated, when I've told her that I will do it on a video, I asked if she minded. She said no. So she will be purchasing it and she will be collecting it. I think she said Wednesday, Thursday of next week. So basically around another week's time. So we're going to do it for the lady, and she's probably about half an hour drive away from where I live. So we're going to get that done. So I've asked her what sort of things she'd like. She's not really sure because she doesn't really know her foliage and, you know, many flowers too much. So she basically left it with me. So we're going to use a 16-inch grapevine wreath, and that's I've not trimmed this one. I quite like, with it being autumn, I like to leave them with the bits on for that woody effect and earthy effect. That's just my personal preference. So I thought I'd get some of my garland, or my many garlands. I've got a new garland and I thought it was on wire, and I thought it was bigger than when I looked at it. but it's come and it's in oak and browns and that. So I think it's going to have to go on picks because there's no wire in the main stem. So anyway, I've cut off some ivy to place in because she does want a little bit of green in colour. I've snipped off from a stem my big fern where it's got the burgundy around the tips. Burgundy and a bit of, I'd say, dusky pink around the tips as well. I have got out some of my grape leaf also. I've got some smaller pieces here, and then I've got out a fresh stem as well. I thought I'd use these. Now, I've only got these two left in this size, what I used the other day. Those were much longer stems. I had them in the smaller ones before, and I found two left. So I'm going to use these two up in the arrangement. So I've also decided to get out some burgundy berries with burgundy foliage as well. I've placed a few before I started on single picks because I think I may dot a few around as well. Now I've found two stems of this left right at the top. I was looking, wondering what it was. I pulled it out and I thought, oh, perfect. Let's use these last two and get these in the arrangement with them being dusky. So I think they are the grasses with just, I don't know, guys. Some things I never can think of what they are. I don't think they're supposed to be a Astilbe, but they're like, I don't know, a furry. Oh, I don't know. I can't. I know what I want to say in my head. You know, as probably we all do sometimes. But I just can't think of the name. So anyway, talking about Astilbe, I've got out some of this little beads on a seeded one, Astilbe. So I've got those. I take the leaves off these ones because I don't really care much for them. So they don't seem to do the Astilbe justice. I think they're just a bit too bright because they come in like a, I'd say nearly a limey green colour, so they just don't look right with them. And as I was looking up there in my like cottagey style things, I came across these little flowers I'd placed a while back on picks, and I thought I could just dot those in as well and try and see if we can use these. I've also got out the dusky pink roses. I've got one out where it's got 5 heads on, so we're going to incorporate those. I got some more of these guys, the hydrangeas. I went and got some more. I've cut 3 down ready, but I'm not sure if I want to put 5 in today. I can't make my mind up, but I have cut 3 down, you know, to start with. I thought I won't cut the other 2 down just in case I don't want them. And finally, I just grabbed these, and the 6 stems fell out of the bucket. Our Chinese lantern in the dusky pink. They are quite long, the stems. I think the stems must be to where the flower starts, 23-inch long. And then obviously you've got your flowers added on for the length. So I've got these in white. I did get them in white before, and I only ordered a couple, but I've got a load there that I've reordered and they've arrived. So they're in the corner over there ready to go in the buckets. So we're going to use these ones instead. And I've finally done a bow. She asked for a bow. She didn't ask for any glitter or anything, but I've decided to put a deep burgundy bow ribbon on. It's not wired. It's just very thin, but you know what, guys? I've used this many times. I've got it in other colours, and it sits lovely. And the tail ends, when you cut them, they just curl around and give that wonderful effect. And then I've got this 5/8 pink glitter. It doesn't come off in your hands. It's, you know, it's which is good. I got the pink one from a lady from CNS who sells ribbon which is imported from America. So, and I can never say never when I see the American ribbons. They are fabulous. So we're going to place that in as well. So I'm going to get started, and I'll bring the camera down. Let's just tidy all this mess, what I did earlier. I'm doing an early video because I've got a meeting at 1 o'clock. So I thought, oh, let's just get the video done early today. So let's bring it in. Let's hopefully that it sits in the right position. I think I may need a new stand. I'll have to just keep perhaps lifting it up or having a look if you can see. If not, I'll pull the camera back a little bit more. Right. So first of all, I'm wanting to place in our fern and then our grape leaf. So I've cut these off ready. I've sort of like prepared. Again, some things I haven't cut because I don't know if I want more or not. So let's start with our fern. And we're going to go, I'm going to work upside down. So I'm going to do and bring it like that. And I'm going to go opposite to the bottom. And place one in here. I'm placing them near to the outside of the wreath. And I'm going to do it like that. I had a lovely message from a lady in America, Gertrude, and she sent me a picture from her lovely pink wreath that she did and added a piece of wood on. She'll know if she's watching. Added a piece of wood in the wreath through the centre and put foam on it instead, and then covered it in moss. And guys, it was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I really did like it. She's done a wonderful creation. So if you're watching, be proud. I was very proud of what you created. Stunning. The colours and the foliage choice was perfect. I loved it. So as you can see, I'm placing them in from where the 6 o'clock mark is, coming up to 9 o'clock. I place the stems going up. And then from 12 o'clock, this is as I'm working upside down. As I'm working, I guess when you, yeah, it's still the same. I sometimes struggle. With the, when it comes to working my head around things upside down. I'm going to put this small one. So from 12 o'clock to 9 o'clock, I place the stems going downwards. So I'm going to place this one coming into the middle. And then we'll have one on the end here. We've got one left. I don't think I need the other one. So we've got, excuse me, our fern in like so. And I haven't thought where I want to place the bow. It usually sits nice in the centre when it's a crescent, or you can have it at the top. I don't know, I may have it at the top today. Make it different. Right, I want to start off with these oddments or leftovers. And again, as I stated on one of my videos the other day, if I'm using for a customer order or anything, some of my oddments or leftovers, I don't charge for them, especially the oddments. Or if I've, you know, taken out or took apart a wreath, what I haven't been able to sell, then I don't, you know, and I use some of those elements in that wreath, I don't charge for those either. I've got some fluff on this, I can't get it off. I don't know if it's just part of it. So I'm going in between the ferns, but I'm bringing the stem more to the inside, further in on the wreath. I know a few people who don't like the oranges and, you know, reds for autumn. They prefer other colours, like some prefer the blues. But we've all got his own taste in things. Whoops, I've gone wrong place there. Bring that out. Let me just grab that glue string. I think I'm going to bring one in as well. With the fern on the inside. I've got 2 pieces of the oddments left. I could just add these in. Saves me just placing these in my oddments bucket. I've got an oddments bucket and a leftover bucket. The leftovers is when there's a bit more than the few, you know, the odd 1 or 2. And then I've got the oddments buckets where there's little bits like this what I place in. Right, so now we've got our grape leaf placed in as well. So we didn't need the fresh stem. And I'm going to place in our ivy. Now I cut them off at different lengths. So let's have a look. That's a nice long one. Oh, here's a long one as well. So I'm going to bring these just under here, the longer pieces at the bottom. Oops, excuse me, got a hiccup. So we're going to go under the grape on the outside and let that just hang freely. And I'm going to do that as well up above. under the grape. I've taken Benji for a walk early this morning. We are going to have a really humid day and warm, and the sun's going to be coming out. And with Benji being black in colour, the sun really does affect him and make him really hot. So I've taken him early. And I will go and collect him just before I go to the meeting, and just take him on the little cul-de-sac area where there's a bit of a grass in the centre, and take him on there. Let me pull that one off, it's too long. Or should I say there's not enough stem. And as you can see, I'm going under, or where around under the where I placed the grape leaf on the outside. I've already had a Christmas garland order, so that's going to be good, in ice blues, and then obviously a wreath to go with it. So I've got this one there. I may just chop this in half and add these in. Again, saves me placing these in my oddments bucket. I'll place a couple. On the inside. And then one here. Now I've got these, what I've taken off. So to use those, I will place on a pick. And we can just add those in as well. So I'm going to bring these on the inside, just near each end. So we've got a bit of ivy on the tips, right on the very end. Like so. So it's very green autumn look. Just bring that. Right, let me just reposition that one because it's stopping me from bringing the hook around the back. Place it there. Better. So that is our fern, ivy and grape leaf placed in, and again you can see where I've elongated it, and the ferns next to it where it's joining in with it inside, so the I'm trying to hide the gaps. So we've got the red. Now this is going to make it dark until we get our flowers in, what will bring it alive. So I'm not going to place them in as one big piece. I don't know whether to. Let me just pull one off. I think I'm going to add those in individually as well. Scatter those around. If I can get that top one off, probably not. So I'll cut the stem and use the stem it's on. So let's pull the others off. And I'll probably bring some on the outer side as well, just to balance up the arrangement, so the dark colour isn't just on the inside. So let's just get these few on picks first. We may need some more. Well, let me know where you're all watching from, guys. I'd love to know. Oops, a daisy. Right, so we're going to add in some. I think we're going to start around the edge, and we're going to add in some around the edge first on the outer side. So I'm going to go where just before the fern, again to cover that gap as well, bring it in, so it's going down like that, so it's staggered in size. We'll do that one up here as well. Oops. So as you can see, it's curving round down to that point. So I'm going just before every one of the big ferns. That one's sticking out a little bit. There we go. And then I've got this one where again I will bring that in the center. what berry's called. So we'll bring this one in around there. Right, so now I will just bring the odd ones on the inside. We'll start with those two. Right, so we'll cut the stem a little bit shorter. And I'll bring these just coming inwards slightly. I think I may just place 3 in because they are, there is a lot of greenery. It's just to bring that colour, you know, along. And join it in with what's on the outer side. Like that. So I brought in the darker purple foliage. If I need any more, I've got 4 pieces left on this stem, so I will, you know, use those. Right, I want to add in, now I've cut 3 down, ready. Oh gosh, I can't get them off. Oh, I've just pulled a leaf. Oh, and a flower. Oh my goodness, we can't miss where the flowers come from. Here. That was good. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I found that straight away. Just place a little bit of glue on it. Because we don't want it to come off. If I can get it in. Oh my gosh, I can't get it on. There we go. And then the leaf that I've dropped on the floor. Let's glue that back on. Or we'll glue it on. We might keep it or take it off. But we'll put it back on. Right, because I've cut, oh, there's another leaf. Where's that one come from? Is that there? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Is that off one of the bigger stems? Yes. So let's glue that on. So I think if I place in the bow first, do I bring it up? It does look quite pretty there. I'm going to have it at the top. We're going to place it at the top today. I usually like to place them here, but I think it would make a change to just move it somewhere else. So let's just get this pushed through if I can. Now this one is a tight wreath, but we managed it. And then let's grab the other one. I'm just placing the wire on the weaving needle and then placing the weaving needle through, which will help me get the wire through to the opposite side. I don't know what I'm going to do with these tail ends yet. So let's just try and push this one through. Oh my gosh, that's a bit tough. Oh, I've snapped my weaving needle. I should really get metal ones, and then I wouldn't have the problem of them snapping on tough wreath bases. But we'll use all these first before I think about that. There we go. If I can just grab that wire. And just before I fasten it, I do like to get, you know, my ribbon in place. I think it belongs like that. Yes, it does. We will sort the ribbon out once I've done fluff it up. So I'm just twisting it at the back. Cut off any excess. And then get my needle nose pliers to help me push it back inside the wreath. There we have it. So we've got it up here. It's pink. So we've got those. I'll probably just swirl these up, create a sort of like a loose curls, not too tight. If you want them really tight, then you make your loop as you start small, much smaller. The bigger you want them, you make your loops bigger. Like so. so we have that with our tail ends. Right, now our floral. I think I'm going to put one there. I could bring one here and then bring the other one here near the bow and do it that way. I think that's the better way. You can pull these off individually and place them on picks. I want to keep it as a full flower. I think I'm going to cut the stem a little bit shorter. And this may be hard to get in because it's such a tight wreath. So we'll give it a go. I just turn it so I can bring in a bit of force as I push on it. There we go. I'll do the, oh my giddy, I'll do the same on this end as well. Let's just make more of a 22-degree angle with it being quite a tough wreath. So it's got more of a point on it, as you see, to push into your wreath. And let's see where we can go with this one. I've just caught that. Oh my gosh. Do you get that, guys, where the glue strings just don't stop coming off of the stem? Can I get that? Oh, yes. In there as well. So we've got that one there, and we'll cut this one as well. So it does help when you, instead of doing a 45-degree angle, when you've got really tight wreaths, it does help to do a 22-degree angle. Let's have a look. We want this around here. Let me just get a bit of force on this. There we go. I think I may... pulled a leaf off again. Where's that come from? I can't find where it's come. Oh, here. I may have to cut this shorter, because it's going down here, so it's leaving too much of a gap there. Trying to balance the gap. So let's see if I can now pull it out. Oh my goodness. There we go. Just remove any old glue what's stuck on the wreath. So I may have to bring it up a little bit so it can just sit in that position that I would like it to be. That's better. So we've got now in our beautiful hydrangeas. So they are, oh, I've got another leaf. Right, let's just put it on a pick and place it in. Around this centre one. There. So that's our hydrangeas in. Let me just check if anything's come from the back. No, we're all good. That's fabulous. Da, da, da. So I don't need the other two. That's a good job I didn't cut into them. Right. I think, yeah, let's get the roses in. I'm gonna, the leaves on here are push-ups. Right. So now, because we've placed our hydrangeas on the inside, I wanted to bring these roses and bring them onto the outer side. So let's just get those in. And again, bring them, you know, further out. I don't know whether I need to bring them in slightly. A bit more like that. Let's just pull that one out. Just cut that off. I think I'll do the same with this one. I'm coming around here, so then I'm going to bring one here and then one here. So we've got 5 of them on the outer side. So let's just cut it a little bit shorter. And then our last one. So we've got our roses, as you can see, on the outside. Looking really pretty. So I'm wanting to bring the Astilbe on the inside. Let's have a look at the Chinese lantern. They are very pretty. I'm going to cut these. You can pull them off individually on these and place them on single picks if you want and have them dotted around. I'm just going to leave them like that with several of them on. I'll cut that to about there. Save your stems, guys, because you could place on a flower head or use them as picks, or you know, anything that you do with your floral design. They do come in handy, even especially the smaller ones. Right, so I've got 4. So I may cut one more off to have 5. So with these, I'm just, where the roses are on the outer side, I'm just going to bring these slightly more in. So I'm creating that triangle with the roses and the Chinese lanterns. And then if I feel, I bring one there on each end here as well, and maybe just have 7 in total. But we'll start with the 5. We'll have those on top. I could easily cut the really long ones down again, but no, we'll leave it as it is. Obviously some stems you do get what are longer than others, and that's what it's like in nature. So the 2 roses here. And those in there. Oh, that's quite a thick stem on the bottom. And the 2 roses here. So I think I'll bring some just here where the hydrangeas are. So I'm going to cut that, and then I'm going to cut off a small piece from here. How many has that got on? 3. So I'll cut that one. So we've just got a couple of the smaller ones. place with the hydrangeas. Like so. So that's what we have at the moment. Isn't that pretty? Let me just check the camera to see if you can see the view, full view of the wreath. Because it does look like you're missing out. There. Excuse me. So we don't need any more of the Chinese lanterns in the pink. I'll place these up here with them being exceptionally long. Now I've got these two pieces of grasses. I'm going to add these in. So I'm going to cut them all. That one hasn't got any greenery. I wonder if you can pop a bit of this in. Maybe I need to just chop that end bit of stem where the plastic is and give it a go. We can only but give it a go. Oh. Just widen the hole a little bit. I feel it's wanting to go, but it won't. I may just put a little. If you can hear music, guys, it's, I don't know who it is. Sometimes we get taxi drivers pulling up, waiting for a job, and they put the music on while they wait. See, these grasses are on single little bits. So instead of struggling, I think I'll place the grasses on picks. Like that. And I'll have to do that with all these as well, because I don't want the stems this long, so I will be cutting them shorter than where the grass was. At least it adds another little bit of texture. Just take all this grass off. There. So just place these there while I quickly get on the grass. Take that one off as well, because it's a bit tough. Well guys, I've got one more room left to do with laying my new flooring, and it's done. So then that's 4 rooms completed with the tiles on the floor. Because some of our downstairs, apart from the main living room, it's, oh, well, you could class it as open plan. So we're taking the and having the same flooring going all the way through instead of different flooring in different areas. Then I want to do the living room, and then I'd like to do my stairs, take up the carpet and have a runner down the centre of the stairs. That's my aim. I may get that done this year, or maybe when it's a Christmas holidays and that, may do it then. I don't know yet. But the stairs is going to take the longest, so I'm determined to do that last. Right, I'm going to bring in these little like feathers. We may not even need the Astilbe. But then again, let's see as we go along. Just adding some different textures around. Let's just entwine some of our foliage around stems. And I've got 3 left, so then I will place in 3, maybe, I guess on the outside. I think there'd be too much if there was on the inside. So that's that. So the other 3, we'll place one here. Bring one around here as well. I can just move that leaf. And this one under here. So we've got those in now. Let's add this bit of grass. I'm going to cut these. How many have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. So I could have 5 on the top, 1 and 5 on the bottom. So the ones on the top I will cut the stems shorter, and the ones around the side I will just take a tiny piece off of the bottom. Right, so let's just pop in. I'm going to start to stand up. Again, just some grass inside. I think we may need some more filler foliage or something. I do have the berries. It's just around these 2 areas that it's looking not as full. And then the others, I may actually bring them up a bit higher up. Right, let's get the berries in. Now I've pulled some off. I think they clash. So what other berries should I use? Oops. I think I may need to put the odd bit more of the grape leaf in for our filler around here. Let me just grab that other stem. I'm going to cut if I can that one. You know, in certain areas around here, look, because it's slightly, I don't know if you can see, still got like a fistful where there's not really much there. I think we need, I will be dotting things around, but we could place those there with the grape leaves. So let's get the grape leaves in, and then we're going to dot around the Astilbe and place that in. Again, it's just to fill the area. So then when I get an Astilbe, if I just show you, you may think, oh gosh, there's a bit of much foliage there. So I will push in an Astilbe and bring that with a bit of pink against the dark colours here. So we'll do that around. I think I'm just going to place another little piece here. Oops. I don't know where to place my hands. I'll just place that bit there. I'm going to do the same in that other area where I've got the same problem here. Bring in and the other piece a bit around here. in. There we go. So there, and then we'll add the Astilbe in with those to give the pink. Around there as well. Just cut these down. I think just on here we may need a little bit more. I'll use the top part for that, with it being just a small piece. Bring that lantern through. I'm going to do the same above, just behind the hydrangea. Oops. There as well. Now I may want to bring a bit around here on the inside. I'm going to do 3 single pieces. Excuse my head and my arms and hands, guys. And just one more around here. There. So I don't need any more of those. I'm not going to use the berries, not these ones, because they do clash and they get a little bit lost. So the Astilbe. I'll just move that leaf. Stuff these in. I may even bring some on the outer side. I think that needs to come in a little bit more. When you're selling your products or your creations, do you prefer when a customer comes and asks for an order for a value of a certain amount, or do you prefer them to come and check or have a look what you're doing, or if they've got an idea of what floral to that they like? I've had a bit of both. I've had where somebody's come and asked for a wreath making for a certain amount of money, and I've had to show them what flowers and that they would get for that amount. Or do you give them a quote on how much it would approximately cost. I've had a few friends who do this sort of thing as well ask me how I work out my costings for the customer, you know, the price of a wreath. I've had to, you know, I've given them help and advice on how to do it. Because you do have to add in the costs of, if you're using foam, cost of foam, ribbon per meter I charge, and then there will be the wreath. And some people charge for the glue that they use and how many sticks they use or things like that. Well, I can't really say because I've got a glue pan, so I don't charge, if I'm being honest, for my glue. I really don't, because I get it at a good price. It's not really, you know, I'm not really losing out on it, so I don't charge for the glue. And then once you've added up all the flowers and how many they use, or how many you use, should I say, you then times it, depending if you're just a new business, or sometimes it can affect the area that you live in. Some people aren't prepared to pay that sort of a price. So I've got a different one in here. It depends on what sort of budget they've got. Well, I'll say, no, that's wrong. If they stay, because a lot of people do say, well, I can't really afford too much, so then I don't give them as, you know, my top quality floral, the deluxe floral. They will get the really pretty floral, you know, what's also very nice. You know, I wouldn't buy it. Excuse me, I wouldn't buy it if it wasn't good. So they do get that, but now this lady has asked for, you know, the good quality stuff. I mean, the Chinese lanterns, the ferns, I mean, these weren't expensive. There was only £2 each. But this foliage is quite pricey. It's a deluxe foliage. So when I calculate everything, depending on whether they're having deluxe or, you know, anything like that, depending on the price it's cost me for the florals as well, then I times it by 2 if people don't want a too expensive deluxe floral. But if it's deluxe florals, I times whatever floral I've used, the wreath, well, it's just basically the florals and the foliage. The florals and foliage I will times by 2 for people who can't really, are on a budget. But for people who want deluxe, I will times it by 3. Then after that, I will add on a single price for the wreath, and then my time and how long it takes me to do it per hour. So for the labour and things like that. And then once I've done that, if they want it shipping costs will be added. I don't add on what we call VAT because I'm not VAT registered, so I don't add, I can't by law add that on. So that's just the way it is. But yeah, depending, you know, you need to calculate how many bunches you've used of a certain thing. I mean, I've used 1 bunch of the roses, so, and then I've used 3 separate hydrangeas, but I'd add those together and as well, which would only be £6 just for those. And yeah, and then all the foliage, how many stems you've used or bunches, and then you times it by 2 or 3 depending. Some people won't pay that price in the area that you live. Some people will. But you have to be firm, guys. You have to sort of like, you know, state that that's your prices. You know, you can't give them the best of the best if they don't want to pay that price for those deluxe flowers. You know, then they have to go down to the next level of quality flowers. It's just business, guys, you know. But yeah, there's a lot of, I mean, I've slowed my speed down for this wreath, for, you know, what we're doing. So I won't charge the lady for however long this has taken me, because I know I can do this sort of a wreath just under an hour, you know, if I, you know, but with me doing these tutorials, then I would definitely not charge her for the full 2 hours. You know, I'm very honest. I know what my limit is and how quick I can create something. So even though I'm doing it on the video, I would charge her as if I'm doing it, you know, not doing it on the video. I still need something. It's bugging me around here. So yeah, it's a good way to, you know, learn how to calculate all your foliage and floral. Now with the ribbon, again, I charge per meter. Each ribbon, not just for the whole ribbon. So, you know, if I, for one ribbon, and I tend to charge around 75p per meter, which I guess is just over $1, probably $1.25, I guess, I think, something, or $1.50. But I charge that per meter. I know some people do charge £1.50 a meter, you know. I guess it depends on, again, on the type of ribbon. If you've got the deluxe ribbon, which is expensive, then you may have to, you know, add on a bit extra for that because of the price of the ribbon itself when you purchased it. If it's not as deluxe but is good quality still, you know, then I would just charge per the 75p per meter. I've been told by a few people that's very cheap, but you have to take into consideration the economy. But at the same time, you also have to make sure you take into consideration you're running a business. So I'm just putting the rest of these in around the sides. I've just been dotting them around. I haven't placed them in any particular place. It's just where I feel that one's needed, like here. Right, so we've got all of those in. Let me just get rid of all these here. Now I am considering placing a bit more, the last few of these, whether they be around the side, you know, instead of just having this left. I think it would be better to use because there's a little bit bare around here. don't want one of those, so I'll take one off. I think because there's not really no, apart from the hydrangea, but that's on above, but down here I think I may bring the darker piece down there and get those, these last couple of pieces of them used. I'll do the same with that at the top as well. Let's just cut that. Mind you, I will put that one because that one's got 2 leaves. So let's glue that one onto here. Like so. And do the same under here. There. So that's what we've got in. I'm just having a quick, just here again, here and here, there's just something that is really bothering me. So I'm just going to have a look. I'm going to use these. It's got 3 out. And I'm just going to add those in, the seed heads. So let's so it's around here. That's better. It was just these areas here that are slightly bothering me. And I've got that there as well. There. I wonder if it's because the leaf's tucked under. I don't want to be putting another one too close. No, I don't want that one there. I'll place that one there. We'll push it in as a little bit of depth. There. So, if you understand what I'm saying, around here, it's just not really much going off. You've got everything around here is pretty a nice cluster. Your Astilbe ends here, then your next Astilbe is here. And in between this Astilbe, it's looking a little bit bare. You know, there's no really floral there or anything else. So I may get, where's that bunch that I've been chopping? One, two, three. Just another little piece of our, that extra little bit of our Chinese lantern that I had, where I cut off place that there. And I think I think that would work. In fact, I'm more than sure it would. And again, this is just to bring that colour where I say there wasn't really much going off around here. So that's just to bring that colour there. And I may do it there as well. So we'll take that other little piece and bring that one here. I mean, there could be one there too. I may do that. Let's give the lady an extra piece. And then place that one there. Then it's got the colour and it's, you know, it's added that in and it doesn't look so like needing, like it's crying out for something to be placed there. Place those like that and let them fall how they fall. We'll do the same around here. Oh, here's my cat. No, don't come on here, it's not for you. I don't let him near customers' orders, guys, or anything really. I don't really like him sitting on anything, but I do disinfect everything. Right, so let's just get rid of that rubbish. Hello? Are you all right?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Yeah.
Hello, pussycat. Hello.
He's not shy.
Come on. She's I'm not talking to you. It's a couple for you.
Lovely. Thanks so much.
See you.
Take care. That's my regular postie, guys. He's lovely. So that is what we've created in the mauve colours and the dusky colours for autumn for a lovely lady. Again, everybody has their own, you know, style and colours. I always state the most important thing about selling your arrangements, what the customers look for is the colour first, because they always have a certain colour in mind. So this lady prefers these for autumn colours, and I think that's lovely. And that will be boxed up. It will all be steamed. Once it's steamed, then it will get disinfectant spray, or antibacterial spray, should I say. And then after that, once that's dry, it will get a coating of UV protection as well, because she didn't say where it was going, and so it will get sprayed. And also I have warned her about the bow, as I do with all my customers, that if the bow isn't under any protection, like, you know, under a porch or anything, it could, or, you know, may over time start to become faded and start with, if it's raining, then dry, etc. with the English weather, then it could start to become mouldy. And then it's easy enough to take it out. And then I said to her, and if, you know, everything else should be okay, if you ever want the bow replacing after time, if it does start to fade with the sun bleaching it, as well as, even though the UV protection is for the floral, I do spray the bow as well with it. I have told her to come back. I will either replace the bow for her, and or we could add in a bit more floral foliage of what she's got in here instead. But that's what we've done for the lovely lady. So I'm going to place it on these. So let's get it up. There we have it. Where's the other bow, the tail end there? just curve that up a little bit more. In fact, I'll just bring the camera up. I don't want you to just be staring at the table, guys. It's not very good. Let's just bring that there. I'm just turning up the ribbon again. Squashed it. There we go. So let's just make sure our loops are all where I'd like them to be. I've allowed, well, I say I've allowed, that's the wrong word. I've placed in those last bit of the lanterns so they are hanging slightly over the bow. So that's what we've got, and that's how it looks hung up. Also, I do with my customers, you know, when they spend their hard-earned money, I do give them, if they haven't got one, a wreath hook to go over the door, free of charge. It's a gift from my business, you know, a free hook. The metal hooks that go over your front door. So I do, you know, give them that free of charge as a gift from myself. So this is what we've done for the lovely lady. I think it's beautiful colours, beautiful. Lovely, you know, mauve colours and dusky. And I think with the hydrangeas as well, that sets it off, and the dark foliage. And I think that looks really pretty. So I do take photographs of these, and I do, you know, send them to the customers and ask if there's anything else they will need adding in, maybe another bow, or, you know, or if they'd like more of something else what's in there, then I will, you know, if they say yes, they'd like probably more roses, then I'd add in more roses. And then I do all that before I actually start to treat it, because if they want it adding in, that means then I'd have to retreat it. So I contact them like, now the video's finished, I immediately take photographs, send it to the customer, ask them the questions, anything else added in, you know, or would you like anything taken out if you think it's too much. And when I get their reply, if they don't need anything adding in, then fine, I will steam it, treat it, etc. And then I will put it in a cool place in a plastic clear bag, cellophane bag, until once it's dry, that is, until the day of delivery. Then it will get in boxed up. So I keep it away from dust and anything like that. So I hope that helps, and I hope you know, if you was wanting to do a different colour for autumn, you know, in these dusky colours, I hope that you give it a go. And again, don't worry if you've not got the same floral and foliage as myself. There's many a beautiful foliage out there. If you don't have the Chinese lanterns in pink, you could use the pom-pom balls, or you know, little alliums, or what they're called. I forgot what they're called. You could even use honesty. You can get honesty in pink colour. So you could use the honesty as well, because it's got the same movement. And if you haven't got the grape leaves, just use things like maple or oak or anything like that. And ivy, you know, if you've not got the plain ivy but you've got the variegated, that's fine. It really is. And a bit of wispy grass is what came off the flowers that I've just spread around. But if you want to also add in your own grass, that would look lovely with it too. And then your ferns, you know, just, I think a lot of us have all got ferns, haven't we? We seem to love them. And some Astilbe, you know, if you haven't got Astilbe, I always say try and use like lavender or heather, things like that. And the roses, if you haven't got the two-tone, don't worry, you know, just use a pink, you know, or you could do the reverse, use a pink hydrangea and like a deep burgundy roses, if you, or other flower, any other type of flower, if you wanted to reverse the colour. So, and again, I just added these little seeds in, things like that. If you haven't got them in pink, you can use them in white, guys. You know, anything like that, it doesn't matter, it will give it that lift. So I hope you enjoyed that, guys, and I hope that you're going to give it a go, because it is a lovely colour, it really is. I know a lot of people now, it's all autumn wreaths are out and everything, like to go for the rich deep reds and oranges, things like that, you know. But again, there's people out there who don't like those colours, which is fine, and they prefer something like this. But they also want, even if it's like some of these colours, they still want it to look autumnal. So the way to get around that is by adding foliage in, what's got a little bit like these grape leaves, burgundy around the edging, and some darker foliage here. Obviously ivy is all year round, and ferns, if they've got a bit of two-tone, a bit dark, or sage green ferns, you know, that sort of tone, and add that in to give that autumnal look. So again, have fun. I know you can all do it. I've seen some pictures, especially of the lady yesterday, so I know you can all do it and you're capable. And again, if you don't want to do it, I always say on such a big wreath, a 16-inch wreath, and you're only a beginner, try using, you know, I say maybe a 10 or a 12-inch wreath to start and do your practice on the smaller wreaths. It doesn't have to be on a big wreath, you can do it on smaller scales. So it's just the lady wanted big, so I'm happy. So again, I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care, have lots of fun doing it. Please subscribe, share and like, you know, to the world. Let everybody know, you know, that what we do here at the flower patch, and what I create, and the different colours and different types of floral and foliage, what go together and look really pretty together. As sometimes I've had messages where people have said, though, they didn't realise that that flower would go with this another certain flower. You know, it's all about the shaping of the flowers as well. If you have big, bring in small. So again, I've gone big, and then the roses medium, and then the lanterns small, and then these little flowers here, I've gone really mini. So I've used all different sizes, and again, I swear by using rough textures with the smooth. So with the smooth grape, then the rough texture of the fern, you know, things like that, and the Astilbe, rough texture, you know, along with the seeds that are quite soft, but this is quite rough feel, you know, anything like that, guys. So again, please subscribe, share and like, press that notification button, and then it should come up on, you know, wherever you are, letting you know that there's a video being done for you to watch. So have a wonderful day. In another hour I'll be going to the meeting, or should I say I'll be leaving in 35 minutes, so to go to the meeting. So again, sorry about yesterday, but it was something of an emergency and very important to me as well. So have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow. I love you all, and keep your comments coming. Bye for now, guys. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Right, let's just do a close-up. Oh, I've pressed that button, guys. That silly button that I keep pressing where it doesn't focus. It's not focusing, look. Let's just get it. There we have it. Right, so there are wonderful dusky coloured and mauve coloured hydrangeas with the deep purple around the edge and the dusky pink on the inner side. Our wonderful Chinese lanterns, and they have polystyrene balls inside, guys. So they're really good. And they're the dusky colour too. Our lovely fern where it's got the, the burgundy tips. And I always forget what this is called, but it looks dark brown, but it's a burgundy, guys, when you look at it, with the black bits or veins throughout. I don't know if I can really can you see there? So that's really, really pretty. So that looks really nice. Then we've got the ivy. Then we've got like these feathery bits here. There's these little seeds or beaded Astilbe. There's our seed heads, our little grass, our grape leaf with the burgundy tips as well. What else did I add in? I can't remember. Oh, and obviously the bow. There's the ribbon here. If I show you, it doesn't have any wire, as you can see. You can see straight through. And then we have the 5/8 glittery ribbon. And I think that looks lovely up there with the Chinese lantern drooping over the bow. So, again, I hope you enjoyed that, guys. I hope you give it a go. Take care and have fun. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye for now. Bye-bye.